So it should be around 11:30 now, unless you're not following our schedule normally. Since you don't have specials today either, you can kind of work this day really to your favor with how much time you use online and when you get your work done. But it's easier to get your work done today and not save it for tomorrow, because you'll have work tomorrow too, and then you'll still have work from today. So do what needs to be done when it's supposed to be done. Our second unit of spelling looks something like this. It says Unit 2. And this is a pretty cool spelling program actually, because it gets you to start thinking about words and the relationships with letters and kind of switching things around and what their meanings are. And what I've noticed is that most kids really learn how to spell these words just by doing what they ask them to do through these exercises. Today's lesson is about short O and short E, and that's the ah and the eh sound. Remember, when you say the alphabet like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, those are all long sounds. So when you see an O, and I say O, that's the long sound. But ah, and it could be an oo almost in there with an O. O makes a couple sounds. But it's not O when it's the short sound. It's ah, like crop. Crop is our first word. Or like clock, just like that. So short O makes that sound, and the short E is not the long E, but it's the eh, like est, or sp, ent, or left. The first page of this is always very simple. All you have to do is write down. Number 1 says, right here, where it says think and sort, right there, it says write the words that have the short O sound. So just go down the list, and every word that you see that has an O in it is probably a short O sound. I'd be willing to make that bet. And I'm going to write mine down right now, and I'm going to try to keep them nice and neat in those lines. And take your time, because this is your time, and there's no real hurry. You're not even racing your other classmates. You're probably all doing this alone. I like to touch that top line and keep my letters on the midline and go all the way down to the bottom line when I'm making my letters. It makes them kind of neat when you follow that dotted line. Eventually I'm going to take that dotted line out of our paper, and we'll be writing in smaller and smaller lines. So your writing's going to get smaller and smaller this year, and neater and neater. One of my favorite things about teaching second and third graders how to write is I get to see them improve so much. You guys learn how to harness your own energies and practice and change your ways. Okay, I have written all my short O words, and you may not have yet, but I'm going to go over them real quick just so that we're on the same page. Crop, clock, drop, plot, block, and flock. Those are all my short O words. And now, on that think and sort right here, again, I'm going back to that, and it tells me to write answers 7 through 15 are going to have the short E sound. So I could just go down there and look for words with an E, but you should say the words when you write them, because then you can really almost taste that letter, like t, est. And since you're by yourself, no one will probably hear you say those words. Sp, int, spit, left. You can clearly hear those letter sounds in that word, left. That's not true of a lot of words. Sled. End. Spend. West. west. Tent. T, int. And two E sounds there. Desk. Desk. And nest. So I have written all my spelling words for the first time. And your paper should look something like that when you're done. I'm writing in marker so you can really clearly see it, but you're probably writing in pencil. And down at the bottom of the page it says, remember, the short O sounds you hear in drop is spelled O. The short E sounds you hear in desk is spelled E. Spelled, not spelt. That is all of our spelling for the first day, kiddos. It should be pretty easy. Please don't do more ahead in that packet because I like to do those with you for right now. Sooner than later, you'll be doing that on your own. We're not going to have a Zoom during spelling unless it's something special because I'm going to start doing some expedition Zooming, and I don't want you on the computer as much as possible. I want you to be able to see me and hear me, and I want to answer your questions, but I want you to be at your home and not in front of a screen all day and not sitting. That would be my dream. I'm going to go now, and I'll come back with a math lesson in a little bit. All right, thanks. Wait, I'm back. I realized that I also, besides just doing our awesome spelling sheet, I do want you to write 3 more sentences. And I want you to write them on the journal page that you wrote on this morning. And if you don't have enough room underneath there, you can use the next journal page. We're just going to use those journal pages for a lot of our sentences right now, and then I'll have a whole book of your work, just like you'll have a whole book of your work when I give it back. So I would like you to write 3 sentences, and I would like each of your sentences to use at least 1 spelling word. Now you could challenge yourself to use more than 1 spelling word in your sentences, but you're just writing 3. So for spelling today, you're doing this sheet and writing 3 sentences on a page in your journal book. If for some mysterious reason you cannot find your journal, you may write on any paper you have at home. Like people turned in their work on regular notebook paper or some lined paper that they had at home or blank paper. All that's fine for now. Thank you.